I'm on my way to Paddington today to pick up my special guest. His biggest sale is $13.3 million. He recently strung together 3 sites and sold it to a developer for $28 million. And something that you might not know about him is that he was an actor through school, and in the last few years, he's been in 2 movies. So, let's pick him up. Heath Williams.
How are you?
Cheers. Thanks for joining me today.
No worries.
Now, I'm quite excited about this coffee. What are we having today?
Macchiato.
Oh, finally. Someone that knows how to drink coffee. No milk and soy and, almonds and bloody all the other things.
Macadamia nut and all that crap.
Macadamia nut,
Have a glass of
piccolo
water.
latte. You don't know how long I've been looking forward to someone getting in the car, bringing a real coffee.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm still getting over that thing Frank Lombardi got in the car with.
What was it?
Oh, a triple espresso.
Right, so basically cracking a cup.
We obviously go to the same hairdresser.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very stylised.
It is, isn't it?
It's hard work.
Tell us about your journey in real estate.
Well, it's been interesting. I actually started as a designer and I ended up falling into real estate.
Yeah, right. What were you designing?
I was an interior designer, so I studied Bachelor of Business Marketing and Built Environment Design. I think I worked on a project for 6 months and made like 10 grand, and I remember the real estate agents all came in their procession of black European cars and they sold the house in like 7 days.
And how much did they make?
Oh, probably like 70, 80 grand. So I was just like, I think I'm
I'm on the wrong side of this.
I'm on the wrong end. Yeah, so then got into real estate.
Yeah, wow, that's so good. And so, mate, how long have you been doing it for now?
Well, all up, I've probably in my 8th year, but I've been in Dubai and Oman for a couple of years. So I've been back into real estate for coming up to 3 months.
You've sort of come back with a bang, like you've come back with a vengeance. I mean, aren't you selling some property for a small fortune at the moment?
Well, people are like, how are you going to announce that you're back to the market? And I was just like, well, sell the most expensive house. Its offers over 18.5.
Wow.
I get some interesting inquiries on it. One guy the other day, and he's like, oh, yeah, I've got up to 1.5 to spend. I was like,
What's been your biggest? 13 million, just over?
In Brisbane, yeah, it was 10.3 cash and a $3 million trade,
wow.
which we then on-sold that straight away.
Like, how have you positioned yourself to get a $13 million listing, an $18 million listing?
My biggest thing is just own your niche.
Oh, right, have a niche.
Yeah,
so what
have
have
a
you
niche.
branded? Because you're not really area specific, are you?
No.
You're property type specific.
Yeah, I got referred to a Art Deco the other day. It was super cool,
Yep.
like really well designed. And I mean, it's like 500,000, right?
Right.
I wanted it. I was
Yep.
like, I want this listing, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
it's hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're sitting there and he goes, this is all great, but just one question. Why do you want this?
This is the deposit on one of your other listings.
I was like, well, I just went, fits my brand.
So you've got your own personal brand.
I feel like mine is architectural specific, particularly.
Awesome. So you've branded yourself. You're not an area specialist, you're a type specialist, and
Correct.
that type is architecturally significant properties.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
It doesn't mean that others don't come up, right?
Yeah,
But
right, yeah.
when I was here 6 years ago, I'd built up quite a profile because that was the day when I really believed in courier mail marketing.
Yep.
So I had one of the highest profiles of paper ads, and people used to call me, and I basically had a methodology on how I sold, and I would turn up and I'd say, well, this is my marketing plan. And they're like, well, we don't want to do your marketing plan. You've sold all these other houses, so therefore just use your database and sell it. And I was like, well, this is just how I sell.
Yeah, okay.
So you either sign up or you don't sign up.
Yeah, okay.
And people signed up.
Or didn't.
Or didn't.
Yeah.
Usually they did because they wanted the results,
Yep.
and we got numbers that other people couldn't get.
What a babe, see her? Oh. You're working to your strengths, obviously. You know a lot about architecturally designed and
Well, I
influenced
know I used to do it. So
yeah, so you
I
can
know
talk
what's-
to it
I know what's in it.
knowledgeably.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're not adding value to a deal, then what are you adding? If you're just going to open the front door, bed, bath, car, that's great.
Adult show and tell, right?
But what value are you taking to the proposition?
So what value do you feel you add? When you walk in the door, what value do you have one thing that you're always trying to add? Is it a couple of things? Is there an angle that you sort of always take?
Well, I believe in the story behind a property. None of my videos are about bed, bath, car.
Yeah.
I do not introduce the property. I don't stand at the front.
Yeah.
It's, that's easy to do. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
So it's owning your niche, right?
Yeah.
Creating something that's completely different.
Yeah, and then you get known for that.
Yeah.
So, mate, before real estate, you've had quite a journey. You're quite a multifaceted guy. You've been an actor.
I was.
You're a lifesaver.
Yes.
Have you saved any lives?
Yeah.
Or do you just stand there and, try and look pretty?
Well, I was a lifesaver at North Bondi.
Yes.
And, I mean, that's not a particularly rough beach. Thing is, it's a lot of tourists, so you're always pulling people out of the rips.
Yep.
You have a lot of events, so there's all those sorts of things going on, and people who can't surf and think they can surf and all that sort of stuff.
Talk to me about the acting.
At school, I was an actor, and I was hosting a kids show. And then I did a movie after school, and then there was a change of government, and the movie I was doing was supposed to become a miniseries. And it didn't, because I think that was a change of government. They culled all the funding for the arts. So anyway, that went off, and so I went off to London for a few years.
Yeah. Actually, I've just picked up on something, because, one of the things about acting is it's storytelling.
Correct.
And so what you do is tell stories with properties.
Yeah.
And so you're just working to your strengths, which is, I think, one of the key takeaways from our conversation so far, is that, when you're branding yourself and even just, working and being an agent, authenticity is the most important thing that you can bring. Because I reckon people can see through the bullshit so easily.
You've got to really own what you do and just stick to your guns on it, because I couldn't be all things to everyone.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Mate,
I don't want to do it.
Mate, speaking of which, I obviously, I saw the video you did for that, $18.5+ million listing,
Yep.
and you're wearing a leather jacket, much the same as mine.
I know,
Yeah,
good style.
yeah.
I wonder where you got your inspiration.
Yeah. So, you really do not dress like a typical real estate agent. I mean, you're on your way to a listing appointment straight after, I drop you off. You're certainly not wearing a suit, tie,
Well,
skinny jeans.
I only own skinny jeans.
Yeah. If you meet someone for the first time and you turn up wearing, or you're about to go meet someone, you turn up wearing this, I mean, are you worried about what they're going to think about you? Do they ever say anything?
Well, firstly, I don't really care.
Yep.
Number one. And number two is that 9 times out of 10, I'm meeting someone in their house. So they're not dressed up.
They're not dressed up in a suit.
As long as you look good and you fit the market. I mean, look, if I worked in a corporate sense,
Yep.
in a world, I'd probably dress for that. But, if I was at the beach, I'd probably wear polo shirts.
Yeah.
But I work in the city, I work in architectural properties. I mean, most people think that I dress more like an architect than I do a real estate agent.
Yeah.
But also, I don't like ties. They're
Yeah. Oh, I hate it. It's like so
like a noose. Do you remember you and I had this conversation like 6 or 7 years ago, because I had that 911 and you were like, oh, I really want a 911.
Yes.
And I was just like, well, go and buy a 911.
Yes.
And you're like, oh no, I can't, it's not a good look, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I have one.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, but that's you, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And what's this?
Yeah, well, this is an
Here we are.
911. So, mate, you've got a quite a unique take on real estate, because you've worked in Brisbane and you've also worked in Sydney.
Yes.
So what are the differences between the two markets?
Real estate's real estate, right? The way that you do it is, I mean, Sydney's probably a bit different because of the geography of it. You really need to be more area specific, because you just, on a Saturday, you
probably
couldn't
couldn't
get
get.
all over
Oh,
town.
that's a great point. Yeah,
You just couldn't get
You can get
all
from
over
one side
town.
of Brisbane to the other in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can do it all.
Yeah.
The thing that really frustrates me about Brisbane is no fucking price guides. People ask you, and you look like an idiot. Like, oh, how much is
you
it?
do
I'm like,
look
oh,
like an
riddle me
idiot.
this, riddle me that. It's
Yeah.
like, people want an answer, right?
The stats come from both realestate.com and RP data that between 75 and 80% of buyers overlook ads listed without a price or an auction
they
date,
do. Of course
because
they
it's
do.
just annoying.
Yeah.
So, Heath, mate, this has been a real pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
You've learnt a lot over the years.
Yes.
And if you could go back to day one when you first started about 8 years ago and give yourself any advice based on everything you've learnt over the years, what would you tell yourself?
Own your niche. Stick to it. Stick to it like that's it.
Yeah, right from day
And
one.
everyone has different styles, everyone believes in different things, but whatever you believe in, just believe in it and stick to it and create your brand around that.
Yeah, that's so good.
That would be it.
Man, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for the good coffee.